This is the Your Money Hour podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. Hey, y'all, I'm glad you're here. Today is my anniversary. We married for 15 years, y'all, to a beautiful lady, Shamika Grady. Baby, I love you. Thank you for being my wife. And shout out to her. Shout out to all the moms, the married couples, single mom, single dad. Shout out to everybody who's listening on the podcast. Oh, and by the way, if you need help with your personal finances, I'm your guy. Go to thecardigrady.com for resources to help you with your finances so you can have peace of mind and not be broke. Oh, and also it's tax season, y'all. If you haven't filed your taxes, make sure you file your taxes because you may get a refund or you may owe taxes. But regardless, file your taxes, y'all. The deadline's April 18th this year. No excuses. So my guest tonight is Miss Tyraa Gabrielle. I think that's her middle name, I think. But Tyraa
Yes.
Riley. She is the Bossy brand. So she and I have met, well, it's been since maybe November last year. I think we're in a group together about content. And I wanted to have her on the show because she has something to show because her brand is something that's important, I think. And she's been through some things that I want to just let her share a story. So, Miss Tyraa, you got the floor.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on the show. Hey, everybody. My name is Tyraa G. I also go by Miss Riley for everybody that's in the Content Impact family. And I'm glad to be here, Dakota. I'm glad to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thank you for having me. So, yeah, I wanted to bring you because I think your story is something is important because we talk about it much on the IG Live, but I want to highlight you being a single mom because having two children at the age of 17, having one child is challenging, but you overcame that, and now you are the owner of your own shirt business, t-shirt business, that is. And I want to just highlight you as a person, how you overcome that, and just bring in the show. Talk about this the journey, how you became a single mom, and then how you are working a job now and have a business. Go ahead and talk about that. You got the floor.
Okay, so I had my son at 17. So I graduated in 2013. Literally in 2014, my son was born. No job. At the time I was with the father, but of course we split up. So no job, the brand new baby. Don't know how I'm gonna get food for him. Eventually, somebody did hire me, so I started working at Kroger, making $7.25 an hour. I started as a bagger, and then eventually I went up to a cashier, which was like 7.40. If I believe, yeah, 7.40. So one day I was just like, you know what? I have to get some more money. Like this is just not gonna cut it. Y'all can do the math. 7.40 and 7.25 is not a lot of money. And we got paid weekly. So I was like, I have to get some money some type of way. So I ended up sitting down. I always been into fashion. I never been that type of person that liked name brand clothing. I always liked it something that was going to represent me. But of course, as the older I got, I couldn't find as much t-shirts or any type of clothing that fit me. And if I did, they were just too big, right? So one day I was sitting down watching the Housewives, and I saw Nene, I believe, with a custom t-shirt on. So I'm like, okay, I already done said I need some money. I asked God for the sign, and here's the sign. So I was like, you know what? I can probably do that. But I didn't start off doing it myself. I actually outsourced it to a print shop. That print shop was literally charging me $10 to $15 to print one t-shirt. And of course, with me just starting out, I didn't have a lot of people to actually purchase the shirt I was selling at the time. So I was literally making like $5 to $10 because I had to pay for shipping. And it's like, you know what? It has to be a way around this. I asked the guy at the print shop, which I don't blame him. He was just like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you need. So I did a lot of research. And after a lot of research, I came across a post on Facebook, maybe, I think it was in the Facebook group, where they was just telling you like what you needed, but they never told you how to work it. So I bought the stuff in 2017. And from there, I just literally sat down one day. Now, don't get me wrong, I got really frustrated, almost threw the entire machine into the wall. But after so much work and just trying to figure out the machine, I finally mastered the machine, and that's how my whole t-shirt business went off from there.
Ah, so your business came out of necessity, right?
Yes, it was definitely a necessity because at that time I didn't really have much money and I had to actually feed my son, clothe my son. I couldn't do all that on a 725 and a 740 salary.
Mm. So one reason why I want to help people with personal finances is because, especially in the African American community, people that make low wages, they have low home ownership compared to our counterparts, and we lack information about financial literacy. So one way to basically alleviate all those is to run through entrepreneurship, help people to make more income. But not only that, to help them to know how to manage the income. And when they make more money, they can manage it, they can be able to buy a home. So it kills all those things. You know what I'm saying? So now people have no excuses for not changing their lives, the transformation, right?
Right.
So talk about how important it is. And this is where we ended up basically, we're talking about personal finance in the last in IG Live. How important is it for you as a single mom to budget your finances?
For me personally, it's very, very important because you also talking to somebody that loves to shop. So if I don't honestly manage my finances or have somebody manage it for me, yeah, my car would have been a negative 1,000, probably way more than that. So, and literally, like I was saying on IG Live, like the whole budgeting and all that is new to me. Like I just started this a couple of years ago, and I actually started it because I wanted to purchase a house, and they was like, "You don't even know how to budget, so why would I even give you money to go buy a house? We don't know what you're gonna do with that money, right?" So that's how I got into it, and I just sat down and had like an aha moment, like a come to Jesus moment, like I really got to get my stuff together. Not just for me trying to buy a house, but for my kids as well, because it's important for them to know how to budget. Because if they don't know how to budget, their credit is going to be messed up because they're just going to be doing whatever. They're never going to have no money because they don't know how to budget. So that is very important for me as a single mom and also teach my kids as well.
Yeah, I think one way to break the curse in your finances or low income is to learn how to handle money and teach our kids. Because even for me, like my mom, dad, they have 7 kids, right? A big family,
Mhm.
and we grew up struggling welfare. And because my experience helped me to, well, it didn't help me, it scarred me really because I didn't want to go back to that. So that's why I'm so adamant about personal finances because I know that money basically makes the world go round
Yes.
in a sense because you can't you got to pay your rent, your mortgage, food, gas, school, clothes, everything for the most part costs money. And people make so much money through their lives and they don't realize that they need to manage that money. And 20, 30, 50 years go by and they have millions of dollars to go through their hands and they're broke. I'm like, why? So now school is having people teach about personal finances in school, which is important because when I got to high school, I didn't know how to write a check. Pitiful.
Not at all. Me neither. Like we didn't have that. They gave us cooking classes, but we didn't have anything about managing our money.
Right. And I'm like, so y'all teach them to go to school to be an employee, but you can't teach me how to manage my money when I get the job.
Lord.
So, and people get out of school, they're going to debt and rack up a lot of credit card debt, student loan debt, and they don't know how to manage finance. And then they be like, why am I broke? Because you didn't learn how to handle money. And then it's like, it's the old habits set in and somebody teach them something new and they don't want to learn it. And then it's in the same position that they were in. So how important is it for people to learn new things, get in the rooms to learn information about things, whether it be t-shirt business, money, content, whatever it is? Why is it important for people to continue to grow and elevate themselves?
Well, you said something about getting in the room. Getting in the room is, I feel like your life would never change until you get in the room. Like, y'all think that these rooms are just full of BS, but at the end of the day, it's not. Like, we were just in the room together, and when I tell you it felt like a family, not only did it feel like a family, but we actually learned some good stuff. And I've been to conferences before, and it was nothing like this. So you definitely have to get in the room. Even if you don't get in the room for the information, just get in the room to build networks with other people. Like I was able to build with at least 5 people that I did not know that was not a part of the community at all because I got in the room. Like, and it might be even scary to get in the room because it's scary for me. I'm not gonna lie, and it's scary for me to go back in July. But I know that that's something I have to do in order for me to grow and go to the next level. You have to get in the room. So y'all gotta get in the room, y'all.
Right. All right. Now, how do you, for you personally, how do you navigate getting in a room when there's BS, like bull stuff? Keep it clean, what I'm saying, on the podcast. But how do
Mhm.
you navigate which room to get into? Because everybody's trying to say something. Everybody in mama is saying something. So how do you personally get in rooms where it's gonna benefit not only you but your audience?
Well, you have to, like I say, you need to actually be following these people. Don't just go get in a room because they say, oh, I got a conference tomorrow, or oh, I'm doing this big event tomorrow. Study who you're going in that room for. So if you're going in a room for like this big star, make sure you study that person first and see if that person fits with you. Because that's what happened to me. Like the vibe was off with the first conference I went to, and that was my key right there, not to go in the room. But like I did it anyway. And I'm glad I did because that's where I came in contact with Dontel. So even if it's BS, it's at least something in there that you can take out the room. But if it doesn't sit right with you and it doesn't feel right, then that room might not be it for you.
Which room was that? I didn't hear that. The first room?
The first room was a conference in 2021. And that's where I actually met Dontel. We got like a 3-day training or workshop. I forgot what he called it. And that's how I got into that community by going in that room. So it
Got
was
you.
BS, but at least I got
Wow.
one valuable piece out that room, and that was Dontel.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's like you do things and don't work, but you gotta keep doing something because if you don't do anything at all, nothing will work. So how important is marketing for you as a content creator? Because you are a creator.
Marketing, like I said on Instagram, I think it was Runway that said it. Marketing is like really, really important for me and then for anybody else. If you have a business, you're a content creator at the end of the day. You have to create some type of content. Whether all of our content won't look the same because we're not all in the same industries, but you have to create content. That's the only way they're going to know about you. If you don't create content, how will they ever figure out who you are? Your audience will never find you. They will 9 times out of 10 go to somebody else because you're too scared to show up.
Mm. Talk about that fear. Because fear, man, it can paralyze people and stop them in their tracks. Because it may be mental, something they've gone through in the past, some trauma. Talk about overcoming fear to move towards purpose.
Like I said, you have to do it scared. Like that's the only way that I feel like the only way I feel like I overcame like being scared of something or afraid of something is I did it. And once I did, I'm like, okay, it's not that scary at the end of the day. But if you keep letting fear paralyze you, which it will, and I feel like fear is just like your second mind, right? So it's like trying to talk you out of it. So if you're talking yourself out of something, how you don't know that that next business that you do, it might skyrocket, it might take off. So I always say do it scared. And I feel like by doing it, that's how I overcame my fear.
So let's talk about your business, t-shirts. All right. So if someone wants to start a business, give them 3 keys to start a t-shirt business and then to thrive.
The first thing that you need to do is you need to see if this is for you. Like t-shirts is not for everybody. I always say if you have a message to relay, then you can 9 times out of 10 put that on a t-shirt. So one, figure out if it's for you. Two, you need to find a type of mentor or coach that can coach you through this thing. And if you want to use YouTube University, that's cool too. But you need to figure out the ins and outs of this t-shirt industry before you even get into it. Then of course you always need to figure out a way that works for you. So what type of operation are you going to operate? You can't operate a brand, custom apparel in a print shop. You need to figure out which option you want to operate.
So, what was one challenge that you faced studying business?
Starting my business, the first challenge I came across is actually not I didn't know too much about it. So with me not knowing what equipment I needed, then that kind of like handicapped me to fall back on somebody, which outsourcing is a great thing, but it's not a great thing for like a print shop method, right? So that print shop method was like a whole obstacle by itself where I had to depend on somebody else. And I was in the red for that because they wasn't giving me no type of wholesale discount or anything like that. Then I didn't know anything about where to get wholesale t-shirts from. So I literally was going in Walmart in the mall to get t-shirts to print on. And thank God that I actually found out what I needed because I'm like, okay, these folks gonna really find out. And it was clear as day because you got the tag on. Like, the Walmart tags are mailed in. So those were some very much obstacles, and the way I overcame those was I kept educating myself because nobody in this field wanted to teach me anything. It was always hush hush. So I had to keep educating myself in order to get better at what I was doing.
So, how important is mindset to being an entrepreneur?
Mindset is key. I feel like it starts with your mindset at the end of the day. If you have a poor mindset, then you're not going to get far. So always invest into your mindset. Personal development is real, y'all. You have to invest in yourself and in your mindset because if you invest in yourself and in your mindset, even when you don't believe, whoever that person is that's guiding you is going to make you believe. So you have to invest in yourself, reading books, getting you a coach or a mentor. That's key. And that's
Gotcha.
only the way that I feel like you're going to succeed.
So, how important is it for you to be the best mom that you can be for your kids while running your business and being the best at your job?
Um, it's very important because at the end of the day, my kids are looking up to me. So being that I'm like that role model for them, like so if I'm out here getting it and doing it, they're gonna want to do the same thing eventually one day. And then being in the best role, being a leader, period, at my job and in my business is key for me because also they're looking up to me like I'm the youngest one at my 9 to 5. And I'm the youngest one out of the people that I actually coach. So they're all looking up to me like, dang, she doing it. Dang, she's a single mom. She really doing it. So I can do it too. So I feel like that's motivation for not only me, but for them as well.
So, let's close on this right here. What can you leave with the audience with someone who may be struggling, whether a single mom, whether they're parenting, and they don't feel like they're enough? How can you encourage a person, whether it be business, life, money, whatever it is, to keep going? Like, what can you leave the audience with? And first, I want to thank you for the time, Tyraa. Thank you for being a guest. Here's the floor.
Okay. I want to thank you also for actually having me on here. And if you are someone out here that feels like you cannot do it, that you're not enough, I want to tell you that you are enough. You are enough, and there's people out there that love you. So keep going, especially if you're a single mom, you have babies that's dependent on you at the end of the day. So we don't have no choice at the end of the day. So keep going, and if you feeling like you're not enough, definitely get around a support group of people that can just love on you and hug on you and pour into you when it's needed.
Awesome. So, Tyraa, how can people find you about you, She Bossy brand, and about you, your website, and everything that's social?
So you guys can actually find me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok under She Bossy the brand. So everything is spelled correctly, She Bossy the brand. And also, if you actually go to that link in my bio, you will find out about my free workshop that I do, and also you'll find out about my free community that I have, and all my other social sites as well.
All right. Well, this is the Your Money Hour podcast. Thank you for joining me, Tyraa.
Thank you for having me.